Tonight on News Center, the Vulcans say goodbye to their old home. Students see the results of drunk driving. The theater's guest director takes the stage. And the Vulcans strive for a PSAC playoff spot. News Center starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to CUTV Newscenter for the week of February 24th, 2011. I'm Justin Carlo.
And I'm Lauren Tarosic. For our top story tonight, we're bringing in our sports anchor, William Moore, who was on hand at a big event on campus this past weekend. Will?
That's right, Lauren. On Saturday, California's basketball program said its goodbyes to a longtime friend in Hamer Hall, a building which has seen many victories and championships pass through its doors.
In 1963, Hamer Hall has stood the test of time as a fixture in the university landscape. Home to athletic offices as well as basketball, volleyball, and swimming, the gym has seen Cal U through nearly 6 decades. Saturday night, in an event titled Hail to Hamer, the university took time to celebrate the era of Hamer Hall. During the event, I spoke with University President Angelo Armenti about the venue.
Hamer Hall has been in operation for about 50 years. I've been here for 18 and a half, so I've been here for a significant portion of that time. I was involved in the expansion and renovation of Hamer just about the time I got here. It's an amazing building. This is where we've done our commencements since around 1960. We've won PSAC and regional NCAA championships on this floor. We've had great success, as you can see from all the banners. So it's been a great building. It's going to be strange having commencement anywhere else.
Throughout the evening, Cal recognized and honored teams of the past, giving them a chance to reminisce on their time at Cal U and Hamer Hall, including one who played in the very first game in 1963.
At that time, I wasn't a starter, but I got in because it was a big victory against Lockhaven. I got 6 points, which made me feel good because it was my sophomore year, and that was a big deal for me. And, you know, we had a pretty decent team that year. None of us expected. Nobody knows exactly who scored the first points in the gym. We had 11 guys score. In fact, one of the guys that scored, I think, it was the only bucket he scored in his Vulcan career.
I was fortunate enough to play with Coach Boone and the staff and had a lot of fun times here. Experienced the Final Four my freshman year here, and it's a great experience, you know, come back and see everybody and familiar faces. And some things have changed, but a lot of things are still the same.
I was here both as a player and coach. I came here actually the year before Hamer opened. Was a transfer student, so wasn't eligible the first semester of the year that it opened, but I played that first year. This has been, to me, it's been a great day. I've got to saw a lot of people that I played with, a lot of people that I coached, so it's been a very rewarding day for me.
While sharing their experiences, I had the opportunity to learn some of their favorite memories at Hamer Hall.
Edinburgh held the ball on us, and so the game ended up to be 31-26. We won, and I remember the fact that at least one of our players, who's now in the Hall of Fame, spent a good deal of the time taunting the Edinburgh guys to play real basketball and et cetera, et cetera. And since we were pretty good and won the game, that's a very pleasant memory.
In 1985, we finished third in the PSAC. Went all the way through the playoffs, winning on the road, and won the PSAC championship in Hershey Arena from Millersville, who was ranked number 2 in the country at the time.
Probably the game I had most fun with was Clarion a couple weeks ago. Probably it's like that was a big part of the game. It was a very close game, and we won. So it's probably my best memory. There's a lot of people in the stands that got really exciting for us.
With this building alone, there was a lot of great games that were played here, but I would say the one thing that actually stands out is when we made it to the Elite Eight and made it to the Final Four and Springfield, Massachusetts. So that was a great an opportunity and a great memory that I always cherish.
Watching Darcy Vincent cut down the nets here when they won the Eastern Regional Championship, and then went off to St. Joe's, Minnesota to play in the championship tournament. And they went there and won every game and became national champions. I think I'll never forget that.
While everyone has their own special recollections, future generations will forge new memories across the street as Cal's basketball era in Hamer Hall has reached its final buzzer.
Now, Hamer Hall may not have seen the very last of Vulcan basketball as both teams are making playoff pushes, and we could see some playoff games hosted at the gymnasium in upcoming weeks. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Will. We'll see him more later in the show for the full sports report. Students got to experience the dangers of drunk driving in a controlled simulator on Monday. CUTV's Cody Elias has more on this story.
Peer Education and Mothers Against Drunk Driving brought the Arrive Alive seminar to California University of Pennsylvania to raise awareness for driving while under the influence. Arrive Alive brought in a simulator to show what can happen when you have too many drinks. They gave out tickets to show what laws you broke while driving in the simulator.
A person's reaction time is greatly lessened when they're texting and driving or when they're drinking and driving. We do that. We have a couple plates that we put underneath the front two tires, and they're kind of like optical mouse pads. I kind of run that into a virtual reality mask, and then we also run it through our computer screen out in the front. And I actually think that's a really great part of it as far as showing everybody else that's out there. Everybody else can see while you're going what it is that you're doing wrong.
Students were asked to sign a yellow star to show support for Casey's Pledge.
Casey's Pledge was developed by a young woman. She was killed by a drunk driver, so her family initiated Casey's Pledge throughout the nation just to get the word out about drinking and driving and how it affects a family and friends. And today we have a table set up, and the pledge is actually to give your pledge to not drink and drive, or if you're going to drink, to have a designated driver. So just drink responsibly.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving representative and motivational speaker Hollywood Rook spoke to students later in the evening about his tragic experiences of being in 3 drunk driving crashes. Rook will also be speaking to the White House on April 30th about drunk driving.
Well, if they want to go home, if last case scenario, you can always just call a cab. It's not going to be a big deal. But if you're going to go out and you're going to drink, and if you're of age, you can pick someone who doesn't drink to be a designated driver. One of your friends, that's always a good step just to be safe and just be smart,
The sponsors of this event are hoping to raise awareness for driving under the influence for not only Pennsylvania, but for other states in the country. For CUTV Newscenter, I'm Cody Elias.
On Sunday, former Lady Vulcan Brooke Williams was cited for disorderly conduct by borough police. She was allegedly throwing pool balls at customers inside of J. Cole's bar. Williams played basketball for the Vulcans for 4 seasons, and during her time with the Vulcans, she passed Sarah McKinney's record as the all-time point leader. Judge Joshua Canales of Washington County is awaiting her plea in court. A court date has yet to be set.
The Women's Center held a scale-bashing event on Tuesday for National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. CUTV's Jordan Miller was at the event and got a chance to speak with those involved.
The Center in California University recently held a scale bashing to promote awareness for eating disorders. This event was held to help students recognize problems as well as help deal with personal issues. This is the Women's Center's 2nd year holding the event. The idea originally came from several other universities promoting this week, but the club decided to put their own twist on it.
The event was based off of National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and the event that we planned was called Scale Bashing, which is when we had women collectively get together and literally bash scales to separate themselves from that number of weight.
There are many reasons why a person believes they must resort to drastic measures to lose weight. The scale bashing event looks to deter those reasons why students develop eating disorders.
Looking at the event of when all the women were talking, everyone has issues. It doesn't matter if they're skinny or bigger. Everyone thinks that they need to be perfect, but no one is perfect. So I think everyone just needs to realize that we don't need to starve ourselves to be perfect. treatment.
Roughly 1 in every 3 women that attend a university has an eating disorder. The event also helps students become aware of various symptoms so they can help other people as well.
It's like something that someone's been struggling with their whole life, so it's really hard if you don't see like a change in their behavior. But I mean, obviously you can see if someone looks like they're at an unhealthy weight, or even overeating, or minimizing their calorie intake, always dieting, always counting.
If you or someone you know shows symptoms of an eating disorder, please contact the Women's Center here at Cal U or find professional help. For CUTV Newscenter, I'm Jordan Miller.
So we had a really unexpected snowstorm on Monday. I wasn't ready for that.
Neither was I, and I certainly wasn't ready to get up early to shovel the driveway either. I wasn't happy about it, and I'm ready for spring to come.
Yeah, me too. Find out if we have more snow or warmer weather coming our way when we return with student meteorologist Dustin Snare and your weather report. Stay tuned.
Good evening and welcome back to News Center. I'm Gloria Stone with your entertainment report. This past Thursday, twin poets Al and Namdi presented a show of slam poetry to an audience at Cal. From Philadelphia, the two have recorded pieces of their work from Lips to Ear and One Night in Jerusalem. Other than producing poetry, Al and Namdi are school teachers and creators of Goals. Getting organized always leads to success, a mentoring and tutoring program that teaches children the meaning of writing and self-expression. They shared how they get their inspiration when writing poetry.
Like I said, we both work with children, so every day is an inspiration just working with those guys, you know, and their families. Definitely. Just trying to give them the encouragement and support we were given, you know, and help them to use their own talents to change their lives and situations.
This weekend, Cal's Department of Theater and Dance will be putting on Twilight of the Golds under the direction of John LaRosa. CUTV reporter Amber Simcoke has more on the story.
This week, California University's Department of Theater and Dance is welcoming the production of Twilight of the Golds. Twilight of the Golds is directed by artist-in-residence John LaRosa. One actor believes that people will be able to relate to Twilight of the Golds because everyone experiences family life.
I believe that people will be able to relate to all of us. They all have families and their own troubles, and this is just a regular family going through a number of troubles and how they deal with them. So I think people will be able to relate and see how, you know, their life relates to us.
For another actor, it's the hard work that makes the show run a lot better.
I've learned from this production is that the more preparation you do, the better set you are when handling a role. If you come in without doing hard work, why even perform the role? So here we are doing our homework and being better set for whatever we try to accomplish.
For John LaRosa, he enjoyed watching the young actors transform into their characters.
Well, I learned a lot of things. Mostly, I think the exciting thing was to see them grow as actors. This is an interesting and difficult play in the sense that there's a lot of subject matter that's unfamiliar to them. And so we worked on the history of the time, which was the late 80s, early 90s. We discussed a lot of social issues and things that were happening, and really delved into the characters and the plot of the show. And I think seeing them embrace all that learning and research and working on it was a very gratifying experience. I also really enjoyed the group of people themselves. They're a lot of fun to work with, and they were very hardworking, which is always good for a director.
As for John LaRosa's future,
I'm sure I will. I've worked at quite a few around the country, and you know, depending on what comes up in my schedule and what I'm available to do, because I work at a lot of regional theaters and professional theaters around the country as well. So I'd be happy to, and I'd be happy to come back to Cal U as well. So it's just a matter of how things work out in the schedule.
show dates for Twilight of the Golds will be on Thursday, February 24th at 8 p.m., Friday, February 25th at 8 p.m., and on Saturday, February 26th at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the Still Hall box office. For CUTV News Center, I'm Amber Simcoke.
Canada's radio station KISS 105.3 FM banned all of Carrie Underwood's song Tuesday thanks to her husband, hockey player Mike Fisher. Fisher was traded from the Ottawa Senators to the Nashville Predators Monday. The radio station felt that the hockey star betrayed their community and that he was persuaded by his wife to leave Ottawa to go to her hometown of Nashville. After a downward spiral of his daughter Miley Cyrus, father Billy Ray has opened up about the steps in fixing his broken family. After many accusations such as Disney ruining his marriage, Billy Ray is hopeful without the media that his family can mend together. He stated that the most important thing to him is his family and will do anything for them to leave the past behind and have a strong future. Concluding the month of February, there are 2 more activities in honor of Black History Month at Cal. Tonight, February 24th, there will be a Black History quiz show in Washington Food Court at 8 p.m. On February 28th, students will be able to visit the National Great Blacks Wax Museum in Baltimore. Buses will leave campus at 6 a.m. If interested, check out the press release section on Cal's website. Coming to the Vulcan Theater this week is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. The final chapter of Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. Harry and his friends leave Hogwarts behind in search of destroying Voldemort's secret power. Showtimes are at 4 and 8 p.m. So with Carrie Underwood being banned from Canada, supposedly Hillary Duff wants her husband to leave the Pittsburgh Penguins. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm sorry,
Go
Justin.
ahead.
I feel that if I were married to a professional athlete, I would hope that we could come to terms on a happy agreement of where we would live. I don't know if it's right to sort of drag them along with you to their home state. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, as far as I know, I think Hillary Duff should move to Pittsburgh because I don't really think she's doing anything, but I don't really know. I can't be the judge of that. Thanks, Gloria. See if California went into Clarion on Wednesday looking to clinch a playoff spot. Find out if they were successful when we return with William Moore in your Sports Report.
Welcome back to CUTV Newscenter. I'm Will Moore with this week's Vulcan Sports Report. The California women's basketball team entered Wednesday night's matchup against Clarion University in 4th place in the region and looking to improve on their standings in the West coming down the stretch. Let's head up to Tippin Gymnasium on the campus of Clarion University for the highlights. Opening play of the game, Danielle Luckett would find Steph Michaels, who would get the ball stuck in the rim. That's not something you see every day, but that's the second time this season it's happened to the Vulcans. 12-10 Clarion. Healy finds an open Lawrence Volchek. The 3-ball is good. Clarion leads 15-10. It's 19-15 now, and Kate Seabaum hits Steph Michael, who drains the 3. Cal cuts the deficit to 1. After another California 3, Kate Seabaum drives inside and grabs the bucket. The Vulcans now claim their first lead. It's 20-19. Clarion answers back as Emma Fickle hits the 3 to retake the lead. This would set Clarion on a run as Fickle was unstoppable for a period of time. She's just hitting 3s everywhere on the floor. And now California would ward off the 3-point barrage by Fickle. It's 42-42 at this point, but Courtney Healy hits a 3 to break the tie. It's 45-42 in the second half. Steph Michael had the hot hand all evening, draining another 3 off of the screen to make it 50-49. California trails by 1. Danielle Luckett gets ahead of the defense here and makes it 55-53. And Steph Michael would follow Danielle Luckett's lead, driving to the hoop here to put California up by 14. California would go on a 23-5 run to end the game. The Vulcans would win 72-58. The Vulcans improved to 19-6 overall and are 1 win away from their 10th consecutive 21 season. Steph Michael led all scorers with a season-high 16 points and 4 of 7 from behind the 3-point arc. Taking a look at the PSAC West standings, with last night's win over Clarion, California improved to 10-3 in the conference. That's good to tie Indiana for second place. Edinburgh in first. All 4 teams there, Edinburgh, California, Indiana, and Mercyhurst, have secured spots in the upcoming PSAC tournament. Following the women's victorious effort against the Golden Eagles, the Vulcan men would also enter their game against Clarion, looking to improve upon their 6-6 conference record with an appearance in the upcoming PSAC tournament. Let's go to the highlights and see how the Vulcans fared. To start the game, it would be Jamar Harrison stealing the ball from Chad Tipton for the lay-in. Clarion would strike first. It would be Mike Sherry. He's been a thorn in the Vulcan side for a very long time, and he hits the 3 here. He's not going away. It's 5-2 Clarion. Mike Sherry hits another 3 to make it 16-4. Clarion, they've drawn their lead up to 12 at this point in the game. Lloyd Harrison would hit the 3 right here, and California looks like they may be fading away. It's a 25-12 Golden Eagle lead. Now 35-24 Clarion, and Freddie Apia would find Quentin Harding for the 3. California cuts the deficit down to 8. Quentin Harding would try the 3 right here, and he would miss, and C.J. Towns would make the rebound, falling short, and he would knock the bucket on his way to the floor. It's 37-32 at halftime. Bill Brown's team trails by 5. Vulcans come out blazing in the second half. Nice give and go between Freddie Apia and Rashad Hatton for the 3, and the game is tied. The two teams were trading shots back and forth, and Mike Sherry would tie it up right here with a long 2 at 44 all. California starts to pull away a little bit as Quentin Harding hits his own long 2, and that would put the Vulcans up 57-49. California looks to push the pedal to the floor as Joe Baronato swings around the outside and hooks it in. A beautiful play. Look at the athleticism here, putting the ball off the glass. That's good presence of mind to know where the basket is. It's 66-53. The Golden Eagles would try to foul their way back into the game, but California would just sink the free throws all over the place. California unstoppable. 89-77. They improved to 14-11 on the season, 7-6 in the conference behind Joe Baronato's season high. 18 points, 4 of 9 from behind the 3-point line. California clinches a playoff spot with that win over Clarion. Slippery Rock, Indiana, and Mercyhurst all also there in the upcoming PSAC tournament. We'll see how that plays out later on this week. Earlier today at the California University Sports Management Conference, NFL official Tony Sterator spoke with students about his road to officiating in the National Football League. Andy Hughes was on hand at Steele Hall for the event and has more on the story.
On Thursday, California University kicked off its second annual Sports Management Conference with a special guest speaker.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you Cal U alumnus and NFL official, Mr. Tony Sterator.
Tony Sterator, a Cal U graduate and current NFL official, returned to the university to discuss his long road to officiating in the National Football League. The former NFL Europe referee also gave students a very strong message to get involved in sports management.
The main message that I wanted to give them in regards to officiating as a potential career is to have some understanding about how much time goes into it off the field. I think that's something that folks don't understand, and that the path to the National Football League, again, I've been officiating for 30 years and 20 of them were en route to the NFL, with only 10 being there. So I think it's important to get that message across, and to also let folks know, I think just in general, I mentioned passion, that they find something that they're passionate about. That way they can enhance their chances to be successful and happy at what they do.
Sterator also noted some of the criticism from the job from newspapers and a familiar name from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My wife's very computer savvy. She finds information, and the next day she said, your name is in every single newspaper in Northern California. And I said, for what? She said, that call you made Sunday. This is from the championship game a few years ago when the Steelers beat Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl. At the end of the half, Pittsburgh was trying to spike the ball, and Roethlisberger felt like he got it off in time, the snap, but actually the clock expired before the snap. He wanted 1 second. We agree to disagree. He's since signed that photo for me. I told him to put on the photo. I said, I'd like you to sign this for my kids came up to camp. I said, put on here, you were right again, Ben Roethlisberger. And he wrote, this is the worst call that I've ever witnessed, Ben Roethlisberger. So that's what I ended up with.
After a 1-hour presentation from Tony Sterator, students got a better understanding of what it takes to become an NFL official. For CUTV Newscenter, I'm Andy Hughes.
Moving from the professional turf to the collegiate ice, California's women's hockey team defeated the University of Delaware 4-2 to capture the DVC-HC championship on Sunday. The team trailed 2-1 entering the third period despite outshooting the Blue Hens 25-11. Seniors Amanda Smith and Tiffany Uhas scored a combined 3 goals in the third period to lift the Vulcans to their first Division I DVCHC championship. Congratulations to the team on their accomplishment this season. So now making a special appearance on the set here with us is CUTV personality and a member of the recently crowned DVCHC championship team, Allison Steinheiser. Allison, congratulations. That's quite the trophy.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yeah. I wonder who will be keeping it.
All right, thank you, Allison, and thank you, Will.
No problem.
That'll do it for this edition of News Center.
We'll see you next week.